All right. So, I've got updates for you. If you're new to the channel, I'm Professor Drew, and this is a vlog series about me writing my first novel. If you haven't seen the first video, you can check it out right there. That's kind of about my career as a writer and why it's taken me so long to write a book. And this one, I'm gonna actually kind of get into the process I have for this particular draft of this book, because this book I have also been trying to write for about 11 years. Granted, it's been very different versions. It was a graphic novel at one point, and the story has changed a lot since those early days. And for this draft, I started getting more serious about writing a new draft at about the beginning of 2025. I had started really writing down the ideas I was having, and those ideas kept coming more frequently. And eventually I decided to put it all into an outline. I spent a lot of time trying to focus on the characters this time around and understanding their arcs, their past, their wants, their needs, where they are at the beginning of the book and where they are at the end of the book, how they change, how they don't change. And I think understanding them has been a big key to everything sort of falling into place as it has with this story. And then I was able to kind of piece the plot around it. I'd had a lot of ideas about it, and it was kind of already there in my head, but I decided to really just put it down to paper, and I felt pretty good about it. A lot is going to change from this outline. I'm calling this the pre-draft outline because after I finish the first draft, I plan on writing a post-draft outline where I note all of the changes that I made from that pre-draft outline and the changes I made in that draft into that. So that way I can have this document that is a lot less words than the whole draft, that keeps track of all the changes made and how the new story is set up. And then I can make another pre-second draft outline, any changes that I want to make in the second draft that I've already thought about. Then I can work on the second draft, and I can do the same thing. I can make a post-draft outline for that and do that however many times I need until I feel like the story is ready. And I really think that process is going to keep all the ideas in line. It's going to keep me in order, because if I just start going down that discovery writing route, then the book will end up off the rails and I will get writer's block, demotivated, and I will stop writing. So I've been trying to avoid that. And so that's kind of been my process with this so far. As I said, I'm about 6,000 words in to the first draft now after having finished the outline. And I did something with it that I have really fought against for a long time in my writing, which is writing non-linearly. And I used to always just try to write as linearly as possible. I wrote from the beginning, and I always tried to push through to the end. I never skipped around. I'd have ideas that would skip around, and I'd write those down quickly on like my notes app. Otherwise, I would write it linearly. And I've been told so many times that writing non-linearly can be a great way to get out of writer's block, but for some reason I was just scared of making everything else that I had already written obsolete. And I don't think I need to worry about that because of the outline that I have and because of my mindset change as a writer. And so it really did help. I was writing through the first chapter and I got to a certain point where I was like, okay, I kind of know what I want to happen, but I don't know exactly how I want the conversation to go. I haven't figured out the voice entirely. And so I jumped ahead, and for some reason that just took all of the worries I had away, and like I started to get a feel for the voice, and I was excited to write it, and I had a lot of fun writing the new scene. And I know that at some point I can go back and fill it in. And this has been my plan for this draft from the start, is knowing that like it doesn't have to be a complete story. It's not going to be polished or anything. That happens in later drafts. This is the place where I can play around a little bit. I have the outline to guide me, but I can try things, even veer from the outline a little bit. I mean, heck, I have already, so in the outline, there's like 3 or 4 chapters before the inciting incident. And now here, I've kind of consolidated that story into probably like the first 2 chapters. Who knows? Maybe I'll shorten my chapters a bit and it'll space out a bit more, but I shrunk down the time from the start of the story to the inciting incident quite a bit. And I think it works out great. And so that's something I will do in the drafts, is like I'll have the outlines like, okay, that's a good idea, but if I just combine a couple of these things, it actually makes it stronger and it keeps everything as it already was, but now it's even better. It's been a really great process, and it's been really cool seeing these images that I've had in my head come to life on the page. And I've had a lot of fun with that because I'm a very visual person in my head. When I read a book, I see a movie playing out. I want to write like I'm helping other people see the movie in their head from my story. I take a lot of inspiration from V.E. Schwab. She kind of does the same thing, and she has kind of the same mindset. So I really connected with V.E. Schwab on that. If you haven't read her books, I would 100% recommend them. So yeah, that's mostly the update I have for you guys. I do want to shout out a commenter, Mona left a very kind comment, and I'm super excited to hear that you'll be following the series and that you're hoping that it'll inspire you to write more. And I thought that was one really cool and kind of funny because that's partly why I started doing this series. I not only was hoping that it would inspire other writers to work on their stories who have struggled to get it done, and to let you know that one, you're not alone, and two, you're not a bad writer for not having finished something. Finishing a story can be really hard, and the key is to keep trying and find the process that works for you. Try different things and get a feel for who you are as a writer. You are capable of doing this, and I was also using this vlog series as a way to hold myself accountable and to get myself to keep writing, because now I have this extra thing where I want to have updates for you about my story. I don't want to feel like, sorry, I didn't write anything in the last month, but I want to have updates for you guys. I want to keep going with the story, and it's a really nice motivator to have. So thank you, Mona, and anyone else who is following this series and helping encourage me to keep doing what I'm doing. And I hope it encourages you to continue your writing process. And if you want to talk about your writing journey, I would love to hear about them down in the comment section. That's it for me. That's it for this vlog. So I hope you guys had a good time. Thank you so much for watching. Hope everyone has safe travels during the holiday, has a wonderful Thanksgiving, and enjoy any other holiday that you are celebrating. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Class dismissed.